Hello, and welcome to Season 3, Race 2 of my F1 24 My Team Career Mode with Rockstar Energy Racing. And we are here in Australia for the Australian Grand Prix um, in Melbourne Park. Not Melbourne Park, Albert Park in Melbourne, I should say. Um, I don't know what it is. I still can't figure out this qualifying thing on this game. Ended up 11th. Third sector just did not work. Lando Norris on pole, Alonso second, Verstappen in third. Want to remember that Verstappen and George Russell did not score points in the first race as they both DNF'd out. In terms of the standings, um, Lando's closest well, he's not closest, but he's up front, so he's the one I'm least worried about the most right now. Leclerc's technically the closest to me in the points, but he's still closer to where I qualified in 8th and ninth, the two Ferraris there. Let's take a look at the rest of the running order. And, yeah, that's how things are looking for the race. And, I mean, 11th still isn't terrible. You still have the opportunity to gain a ton of spots on the start. All right. Weather's dry. That's good. Obviously, you can tell we are way ahead of everybody else in overall pace or performance comparison. That doesn't necessarily, as you saw, equate to qualifying. We have 2,600 points. What is the area of biggest need? So I guess chassis is probably this big area, though. The next 19, 2021, 22. Oh, those are all out of reach in terms of the points. Honestly, I might just go for another durability upgrade here. And then save up points for the next race. I think it'll probably be a good idea. Pack will catch up a little bit, but we'll get it back with some upgrades, I'm sure. Yeah, that's it. Better get going because it's kind of late. So let's hop right into the Australian Grand Prix.
This circuit missed a few years off the F1 calendar, and we missed Albert Park. So welcome back, and it's great to be back in Melbourne. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Fernando Alonso completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Albon, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Golden Boy, Stroll, Gasly, Magnussen, Ocon, Tsunoda, Russell, Hulkenberg, Joe, Teo Pourchaire, Behrman, Sargent, and Dennis Hauger. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Nones. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
It's a very special time for the drivers. It's almost like everything around you slows down and you become hyper-aware. So your nerves slightly go up, your adrenaline's going up. It's the perfect time to start focusing on your visualizations and preparing for the race. So you want to avoid distractions and really stay cool, calm, and focused.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway here in Australia. The atmosphere around the circuit is electric, and the crowd are hoping for an exciting race from the drivers today. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books. That start was okay, now stay alert for threats around you. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. Verstappen has the lead. Caution, caution. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead. Okay, clear.
Okay, gap to the car ahead, 6.2 seconds. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Use your overtake button more, it's time to utilise some of this energy, come on. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by, 8.2 seconds. I've got some information. I've got some information on Alonso. I've got some information on Alonso. They've got an issue with their car. They're going to be slow. Right, the gap to the teammate ahead of us. 9.4 seconds. We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 7.5 seconds. I've got information on Albon. I've got information on Albon for you. I've got information on Albon for you. They seem to have an issue. Green flag. McLaren drivers just moved into first place. Understood. Stopping this lap. Okay, we can take you this lap. Copy that. Hards next time we box. Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip any time now. Right, let's have you in at the end of this lap, please. Copy that. Hards next time we box. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit or receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit or receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. So your ERS is running a bit low. Look into changing your ERS mode in the MFD for a more conservative burn rate, or you might want to try some lifting or gentle braking to recharge. Fernando's in the pits. Joe is stopping now. Gap to your teammate behind, 2.9 seconds.
And an award-winning day for Oscar Piastri as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
And you can just see how much this means to the fans as well. The energy that they were giving the driver all day today. A race win at home feels like 10 race wins elsewhere.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
And that was a shortened Australian Grand Prix. The big story of the season so far is that some big names have suffered engine failures. The first race, it was Max Verstappen and George Russell in Bahrain, both suffering from engine failures. And in this round, it was Lando Norris, the pole winner, and myself, both DNFing out of the race due to engine failure. Um, so I got the engine failure early on. Now, had that happened later in the race, maybe a few laps ago, I probably would have done the trick that I've done in the previous games, where I'll just do the rewind and keep going till the finish. But this happened so early in the race that I was like, I don't want to do that for the whole thing. So basically what I decided to do is just let me make it to the pit stop sequence and see how the running order shakes out at the end of the pit stop sequence. And then at that point, I would let the engine failure do its thing and take me out of the race. So that's what I did. I went through the pit stop cycle, made my stop, just waited to see how everything shook out, and then I accepted my fate, and I fell out of the race. Um, Interesting that Sergio Perez got the podium there, because Verstappen was right behind Alonso, who was having his own issues. And I thought Verstappen was going to maybe get second, but he didn't even get the podium. But he and Russell did get their first points of the year after not finishing in Bahrain. Um, Something happened with Albon. At first, I thought that he had a engine failure as well, because he chopped up the pace dramatically at one point. But I guess he had just a tire failure, a flat tire, because he was back on the track after I made my pit stop. So, but he was in a strong running for a top 5 finish, and that tire failure did not do him any favors. He ended up dropping to, or ended up finishing in P11. So, constructors after that race, it's again we're still only 2 races in, but it's very tight between myself, Rockstar Energy Racing, McLaren, and Ferrari. We have 4 teams that have yet to score any points. And in the driver standings, Oscar Piastri actually jumps to first place. Charles Leclerc is in second. Alonso's in third, and I am in fourth. So in one race, I fell from first to fourth. 11 points, that's not much. So that's totally, we can absolutely make that up here in the coming races. Maybe not Japan, but probably in the races after that we can do something. Actually, I think China might be next, then Japan. Yeah, I think China is actually the next race, so that'll be interesting because it's first time going around China. So we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, that was the... actually, before we do that, let me take a look at Norris. So Norris is 7th. Verstappen is 8th. Okay. And yeah, that was the Australian Grand Prix with Oscar Piastri winning in his home Grand Prix. I think for the second year in a row, because I feel like he won one of the Australia races already in either season 1 or 2. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, wouldn't have gotten the money for the sponsors if Alonso hadn't gotten the finish that he did. So that was good. That was good. Forget where. I don't think Alonso got a podium in the first race, but I know he got a good result. So he's off to a fairly solid start to the year. Led laps in both races. Um, Ultimately didn't get the result they could have. He just seemed to fade a little bit as the race continued in both cases. So
The team's income is looking very robust right now. It's time for you to have a think about our profit margin and what areas of the operation might benefit
that was
from that money.
a control electronics that failed. So, chassis department. Fill those out. Renew sponsor.
Not an easy decision, but you
cash
handled it
invest.
well. Thanks.
Now we'll get one of those upgrades. Looking at chassis. Okay, so it is Japan that's next, then it's China. So get that fuel tank positioning upgrade on the chassis side, which that is a ultimate upgrade. I believe that will be in on the car in time for China. And Alonso checking the results. Yeah, so he finished 5th in Bahrain, 2nd in Australia. Yeah, so we've had 6 different podium finishers so far. Myself, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and then Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, and Sergio Perez. So already 2 races in, 6 different podium finishers.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Alright, and there you go. That was, again, a shortened Australian Grand Prix, and I will see you next time for the Japanese Grand Prix.